This is E&P Reports, a vodcast from Editor and Publisher Magazine, the authoritative voice of news media since 1884. Serving newspapers, broadcast, digital, and all forms of news publishing.
Greetings once again, Mike Linder, publisher of E&P Magazine. As always, I bore you by asking you to follow us. If you're listening on a podcast platform of flavor, of choice, or what have you, hit that follow button. Watching this thing on YouTube, there is a subscribe button below me. There is a bell to the right. If you smash them, hit them, click them, whatever, you'll get an update each and every time we upload a new episode of this weekly podcast series, E&P Reports. I did not say below my face and Corey's face because I'm the star and I don't want to give Corey any, no, Corey's here. So we have Corey Elliott. This is your third appearance on the program. That makes you part of a smaller group. I mean, because we got a couple four-timers now where we have special jackets and a special green.
Right. Kind of like Saturday Night Live does with the five-timers.
Right. But welcome to the show. Corey Elliott, of course, unless you live under a rock, is Executive VP of Local Market Intelligence at Borrell Associates, the leading firm for research in the advertising world. I want to say it that way because what I like to say what Gordon does, what's Borrell do? It's simple. You ask two questions of advertisers. What are you buying? What do you plan to buy? I know that kind of breaks it down maybe 2 minutes ago, but through all that and all the different questions go with that, you kind of forecast where the advertising dollars are going, right? You're not
absolutely
to help everybody steer those murky waters. Is that too many metaphors for you this morning?
Yeah, I gotta catch up. I gotta get my dictionary out. No, that's essentially it. What we do is we are focused on local advertising spend. So there are plenty of firms out there who look at the national trends and what's going on with the big players, that we want to know what's going on Main Street. And so we talk to local media companies, we talk to local advertisers, and we get an idea of where the money's headed in advertising in a local market across the nation, every county in the U.S.
Now, obviously, Borrell works with all forms of media, all shapes and stripes, digital only, a lot of broadcasts, national, local, what have you, and even, God forbid, people that come from a legacy newspaper background. But by the way, you, Corey, have ink in your veins.
Yes.
Years at the Arizona Republic doing research and strategy, then director of ad research at the Dallas Morning News, not a small operation, then director of market intelligence, God forbid, for Gannett. Those are three actual heritage newspaper companies. So God forbid, do you ever announce that anymore when you're in front of all those famous television and radio people?
Yeah, it depends on you got to read the room, Mike, man. You got to read the room and see. But what was fun about that is, regardless of being a print newspaper, is it was during the time when newspapers, especially at the Arizona Republic, were like, hey, there might be something to this whole digital internet thing.
Yeah, what's this at sign I have to use now in my name?
Yeah, exactly. And how do you brand? And it's just the dawning of, wait, we're way more than a newspaper cover. We're a media company. And what does that mean? And all. So it's during all of that, being able to see how these different places, Arizona Republic, Dallas Morning News, and Gannett, all did it differently and all tried to, get ahead of the curve. And so now I think they're all firmly in we're a media company, if not marketing company space.
There you go. Or God forbid, a brand.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Well, anyway, we're going to dissect your latest and greatest data. I always like to get ahead of the curve because this is a big deal. You finished a study of local trending in advertising spend, and we're going to unpack that, especially with a focus on that legacy media that we both are serving right now. We're going to do that on the backside of this message.
This episode of E&P Reports is exclusively sponsored by Blocks Digital, formerly Town News. Even though the name has changed, their commitment to the media industry is as strong as ever. Blocks Digital is now even better positioned to deliver integrated solutions like content management, audience development, advertising revenue, video management, and more. Join the over 2,000 news publishers worldwide that power their ongoing digital transformation with Blocks Digital. serving over 141 million monthly users who view over 6.5 billion pages of content each year. You can trust Blocks Digital to empower you, to connect you at scale with the community you need to reach. Blocks Digital, formerly Town News, now reimagined to help meet the news publishing challenges of tomorrow and beyond. Learn more at blocksdigital.com.
All right, so the study is out. It's fresh. It's what, 2,300 different agencies, spenders. Are these big, small, little, big, all kinds of markets? I mean, what do you got?
Yeah, it's across the U.S. We've got something from almost every state, except I just looked. Nothing from West Virginia.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Make a phone call now. Call someone there. Ask them a question. Go ahead.
What the hell is going on? Nobody's advertising in West Virginia, I guess.
I guess no.
But no, what we do is we partner with media companies and we send a survey out to their advertisers and their agencies, and we get back, like you said, over 2,000 responses. We got back exactly 1,938 responses from direct buyers, from advertisers. The rest were agencies. We're going to focus on the advertiser portion of this during this call, but 1,938. Range of sizes mainly skew more medium and small because, again, we're talking to local media companies who are talking to their advertisers.
All right, so I watched Fox News all morning before this interview just so
I'm sorry.
The world is dying.
Yeah.
Everybody's going, the economy is blown to shreds. Gas prices are too high. Inflation. We're going into a war. So let me guess, everything is dead. We should all just pack up our little things and stop selling advertising because no one's spending money. Did I get the headline?
Yep, that's pretty much it. Okay, bye.
All right, bye, everyone.
No, actually,
what's the bullets? Let me hear it now. What does the future look like? How are we going to attack these critical local dollars? Sure.
It doesn't look bad. At least this is not me. This is what we're gathering from the data from what local advertisers are telling us. And when they look at the economy and they look at running a small business or small, medium business in a local market, there's some trepidation, but that's been the way since the pandemic. Nothing's really changed. So that awful thing that you've heard about, it's going to hell in a handbasket, isn't coming true. They're looking at, in fact, I'm going to look down for the people who are looking at the video. I'm going to look down a lot because I have notes down here. So you'll see me look down. In fact, 62% of local advertisers who took this survey, 62% plan to spend more on something in 2023 than they did in 2022. And they're more optimistic about the economy. I'm not saying they're all optimistic, but it's not, when they look at 2023 and out at least 6 months, it's not that bad.
Wow.
So the
world is not going to hell in a handbasket. Everybody's not
according to these guys.
Even with no more PPP money coming in, there are actual people out there in the retail world or whatever service-related world, I should say, or any form of world that are saying, I'm going to invest more in growing my business. And I hope someone can help me do it. That's it.
In fact, here's another one. 89% of advertisers said they were either holding their overall ad budget steady or were increasing them in 2023. 89%. So that ain't bad.
We ain't going backwards then. There's more money to be had if someone wants to, God forbid, go out and find it. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
All right.
Now,
where is it?
But exactly. What do they want to spend it on? So what we saw was, of course, it's validating some things you guys already know. There's a great interest in pouring more money into SEM, into social media, and into events. Those are the three biggies right there. And we're starting to realize when we look at this data, we're like, oh my God, we just realized something. We're catching up to speed, that social media is kind of the events is kind of the social media of the real world. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because it's that interaction, it's that one-to-one interaction. And I think another one is a holdout from the pandemic where we couldn't. So there's a great interest in events and being part of something and part of a community. At least that's what local advertisers are telling us.
We're limited for time, and I'm looking at some of the bullets you sent in your press release. You had the unmitigated goal to list radio as growing. Everybody's streaming. They're doing Apple Play. How dare you say that broadcast radio has grown. I'm setting you up. What's going on there? Why is this media? And you can't even segment radio, right? It just goes everywhere. It's regional. You can't get the local pizza guy to get 5 blocks in radio. Why is radio growing?
You know what? I'm going to pour it on myself and tell you that what we've seen is a great amount of churn in radio. So why he mentioned radio is a great percentage of the people who took the survey said, oh yeah, I think I'm going to either increase or buy radio this year. I think it was radio. 12% said they either plan to increase or start buying radio. Okay. But at the same time, you got 6% saying I'm out. I'm done.
All right, so let me give you interact a lot with these executives. And when I go to Borrell every year, and I've gone religiously for the last few years, there's a lot of radio people. I mean, it's almost the dominant meat. There's broadcasters, print, but there's a lot of radio people there. And I learned sales through radio. I sold AM radio in 1984, and everyone said it was dead. I had a 50. And I say this: I think the best sales executives are the radio guys.
Now you're touching on that, because what we think when we look at the data. In fact, I'm going to read this to you, and it's going to make it sound like I'm really intelligent. Buoyancy in radio might be due to digital, because more respondents in our survey said they bought digital advertising from a radio station than bought it from any other type of media company.
See, when I was managing my radio sales teams, I was getting crumbs off the table. I mean, the newspaper back in those days was taking dominant dollars. Pages we leaked up half the budget. Broadcast TV was sexy, and here I am just getting crumbs. So you have an aggressive, well-honed sales force. Could this be the reason that radio keeps just chugging away, that we have to learn to sell better?
It's that and the fact that if you think about how over 30 years now, good Lord, how digital has changed all these media companies. The first ones to be hit were Yellow Pages, right? Remember Yellow Pages?
Yeah, Google killed them. Right.
Yeah, that was first.
Right.
Then came newspapers. Then came TV. The last up was radio, because there was until digital audio and podcasting and things like that became
streaming and
all that became popular. Smart radio people got to watch what the hell happened to all these other guys, and got prepared. A lot of them got prepared to get in front of it when it came. Like, man, we need to get our digital game on. More importantly, and it's you, Mike. I get on this soapbox all the time. I swear to God, it's less about the media and more about the marketing. If you can provide me with a transparent, complete marketing plan, I'll fall you off a cliff. What we did in our survey, we asked about all the traditional medias, and let's pick on newspaper here for a little bit. And we asked, how many of you guys are even using it? How many of you guys are decreasing it, keeping your budget the same for 23, or increasing it? And in our survey, 58% of our survey respondents aren't using print and newspaper. So they're off the board. They're done.
Okay. Printed newspaper.
Yeah, print newspaper, because I'm going somewhere with this. 24% said, I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to keep my print newspaper budget the same. 12% said, I'm out. 6% said, I'm going to increase. Or I'm a new buyer. So I took a little look at those people just to see if there was something different about them. So why? Because we all know that, talking about at the beginning of this conversation, you were talking about the world coming to an end. So the world's coming to an end for print newspaper. But why the hell are these people still buying it? Who are they and what are they looking for? And here's what I found. There's no real difference in the kind of business there. So there's nothing there, except if you had to put a gun to my head and say, what kind of business over indexes in increasing their newspaper print budget? You know who it came out to be? Performing arts. That's the one. I'm not saying they're dominant or anything like that. I'm just saying when you look at all of them, they kind of over index, but you know who under indexes? Now this is going to blow your mind. And it goes back to the beginning of our conversation. Event managers, people who are putting on events. that are really important for local advertisers, they're the ones saying, nah, I'm done with newspapers. We had a whole section in the local advertiser survey this time about local advertisers' attitudes towards agencies, towards local agencies. We always have a special section in our survey.
What'd you learn?
Oh, this is what's cool. First of all, local agencies, I think, are looked on as yet another vending machine. What do I mean? When we asked, I'm looking up here now, if your company was looking for help with marketing tasks, what would you do? Right? Number one response, learn how to do it myself. Number two, ask my network for referrals. Number three, ask a current employee team to take the task on. Number four, approach a local media company. Now, before you say anything, when we asked the people who were going to increase their print budget, that same question, the order was different. Still, number one was learn how to do it myself, but tied with that was approach a local media company. And when you looked at the rest of the answers of this specific group around how or what they would use a local agency or media company for, you can read between the lines the begging for marketing help. You can see it. The last thing I'll say, because I know we're running out of time, which of the following, so this is a question to everybody, right? Which of the following best describes why your company doesn't currently use an agency or firm? So you're not using one. Overall, in the total survey, 17% said, we don't use one because we're not sure what we need. But okay, fair. Do you know what it was for the people who buy print newspapers?
What?
29% said, we don't know what we need.
So the big takeaways here are, it goes back to good blocking and tackling. You no longer want to go in and peddle inches and impressions. You want to go in, God forbid, he said sarcastically, establish a strong relationship with the marketer, learn their goals, needs, and desires, and have a very viable toolkit so you can meet those goals, needs, and desires, whether it's social media, whether it's events, whether it's content marketing, God forbid, whether it's an ad on a website or a print ad. The trick is that most of our opportunity, let me see if I'm summing this up right, is still small businesses who don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right. Right. And before you think, well, that's an agency's job, here's the thing. For years, Borrell's been talking about, look, they are treating you. If you come in as a vending machine, what ad do you want this week? You're going to be treated as a vending machine.
Right.
And we thought that, who's supplying the marketing strategy? It's the local agencies. Guess what? It ain't. Because when we asked, it tells me, okay. So they are being engaged to perform very certain tasks. Build my website. That's it. That was the number one thing local businesses use an agency for, building a website. Right. You know what percentage said they use an agency for planning strategy? 5%. That's it. So there's a whole mouthful.
There's a whole world there of good marketing strategies.
Nobody is providing it to these guys. No one.
The agencies are also off in their own la-la land, and they're not doing their things.
Yeah.
Corey Elliott, Executive Vice President of Local Market Intelligence. If anyone wants to learn more about how they can tap into this amazing, unbelievable, really cool knowledge that you guys have, it's BorrellAssociates.com, correct?
Yep. And if you were interested in this very survey we're talking about, there's up in the top rail, there's surveys. Click on that. It'll tell you everything. You can register for webinars or get, executive summaries, information like that.
And you guys are starting the charts again. Thank you. I love those.
Yeah.
I missed those. You used to do these weekly charts, right?
Yeah. What we do is we pick out 10 of the biggest headlines we see in a survey. And then over a 10-week period, we kind of churn those out.
Because no one has any attention span anymore, and all you want to see is a graphic,
Yeah, exactly, man. It's all about, as visual. Gordon says, you have 7 seconds to get your message across. It's his 7-second rule.
There you go. And your email address, I think, is something easy, like Corey at
Borrell Associates. Yep.
There you go. Corey. Corey, thanks for your valuable time. We appreciate you dressing up for this interview.
Thank you. It is
the Hawaii.
It is summer, so
I even put on my jacket, which I never launder. And we'll be talking soon, sir.
All right, sir. Thanks.